What is going on? What is going on, everybody? I see me doing another road game here, Hopefully everything is all right. Let me do a quick check on the sound, make sure that's pulsating. All right. Let me know if the sound okay. And with that said, we're about to get into this. Just a little backstory of what we're talking about here today. It's a number of things. And in fact, I'm gonna roll the intro. I'm gonna roll the intro, and we're gonna talk about what's going on here. We're gonna talk about what's going on here, and after the intro. So come on in, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. Hit the like button, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know the deal. But let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
I was a little late. What's up, good people? Welcome back. Yes, I am doing an afternoon show. You see in the title and in the thumbnail, you see Manosphere, Black Manosphere show of the week. This is something that I believe it got started by LAR, something that we do where we highlight a particular channel. I think everybody's supposed to share it. I don't even know all the rules of how it works. LAR just said, hey, man, do you want to participate in this? I was like, sure. So I'm in it. So I'm doing it. It's like the 7th episode. I know BGS did one. I know Edward Anderson did one, something like that going on. So I was like, hey, I'm with it. He said, do it every Sunday at 6 p.m. I'm going to try to keep the ball rolling on that, make it a thing. Somebody had a crazy idea at one point that it should be a central channel. I don't know if that'll work. I don't know if that'll work, but I think in a de facto way, I think LAR might be trying to organize something like that. So no, definitely. But shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to the early bird squad. Those of you that make it in bright and early. I do want to apologize to some degree when I'm talking to y'all. I'm going to be looking at the camera, but sometimes I'm going to be looking down because I got a camera right here and then a laptop down here. So sometimes y'all just going to be looking at the top of my head, and is what it is. I'm on the road. Whenever I'm on the road, the setup is not exactly up to par, but I wing it. But shout out to Victor Carter, shout out to RM, shout out to Mike Reed, shout out to Excalibur, shout out to Just Being Jazzy, shout out to Hoop Jargon, shout out to Okay, juice stat. Whenever the environment shifts, boy, do the women shift with it. Yes, that is true. There's a yes and no with that, but we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that because I'm a long-standing person that says if somebody is messed up, just if their character is generally messed up, they're going to be a messed up person to be in a relationship with. Even if they end up with the right, perfect person that they really want to be with, yeah, they'll put on the act, they'll do the right things, they'll wear the hat, they'll put on the shoes, they'll do the dance. All of that will happen, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But they will fall back on being who they are. They will fall back on who they are just in terms of their character, their personality, and all of that. That's made up of, that's your character and your personality is a combination of your genetics and your upbringing. And if your upbringing and your nature, your genetics, all that come together to form a messed up individual, you're eventually going to behave messed up in a relationship. Hence the term, they always go left. So long as the environment permits them to go left, even though they're getting a good deal at the time, they will still end up going left at some point if that's what's in them to do. If it's in them to do that, if it's in their programming to do that. So that's really the thing with an environment change, the women change. Yeah, they'll temporarily change. But I said before, with a lot of them, hashtag not all. Because I'm one of the ones that do believe there are some good women out there. I'm one of the ones that do believe there are good women out there. But for a good percentage of them, though, whatever it is they get used to you doing it, whatever it is you're doing for them, once they get used to you doing it, then now you ain't doing shit. It's like that for a lot of them once they get used to it. But then there's actually solid chicks though. There's actually solid chicks. So I'm not gonna lump them in, but we're gonna be getting into a number of things on this today. But shout out to everybody in the building. I saw UFO Kamikaze in the building. Victor Carter, I see y'all down there. Shout out to all y'all. Appreciate everybody being in the building today. And this may be a shorter show. We might smuggle in a panel. We may do something like that. So stay tuned. But not promising a long one today. But the first thing that we do got the first thing we do got to get into, if we don't get into nothing, we got to look at this one. This one is this video, what I'm about to showcase. Hold on, I ain't even got it up. What I'm about to display right here. This is the reason for the season. This is why we are all gathered here today. I do got to roll the not so beautiful bean footage on this one. This is from, she actually has a YouTube channel called Just Being Jazzy, but she was also the chick that was on Shan Booty. I think her name is Shan Booty. I don't know that much about the chick. She got like 600K subs. Kevin Samuels actually did an interview series with her. So she's somebody. She's somebody. I just don't know too much about her. But she is, she's a big deal. And y'all seen the video. I'm going to play that video. I'm going to play kind of the full clip of that video. We're going to get into that. But where she had a woman on, the woman that she had on, her name was Jasmine Brown. watchjazzy is the YouTube channel. Where the chick said all kinds of things about being submissive to her man. And she just really broke it down and just laid it out. And all the guys were just clapping, guys start still clapping for that one. But then an old video resurfaced. And that's what we're going to be examining today. And thank you to whoever it is who put together the mashup. And keep in mind, when you're listening to this mashup, these are the same two women talking. So without further ado, let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Women who try to do everything right just so a man can choose me. Yeah, cut that shit out. Because I'm going to keep it real. It's for all the pick-me's. Pick-me's are women who try to do everything right just so a man can choose me. Yeah, cut that shit out. Because I'm going to keep it real with you. Men already know what they want in a woman and who they want. But if you're so nurturing and you're an asset and it's not you, they'll never tell you to stop doing what you're doing because it's beneficial. And I don't want to hear none of that shit like, oh, I'm just a nice person. I'm genuinely like that. Well, bitch, you going to genuinely get played. No, it's just that I'm just naturally like that. Like the shit I do for him is natural. And your natural ass is going to get played.
What does a submissive woman do for her man? I
Keep in mind, this is the same chick.
don't know you. He's spoiled. Girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten, but I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. And I've been known to love people back to health. And sometimes it's very draining, but my love is my superpower. I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes.
It's for all the pick-me's. Pick-me's are women who try to do everything right just so a man can choose me. Yeah, cut that shit out. Because I'm going to keep it real with you. Men already know what they want in a woman and who they want.
All right, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. And you can see the change up. I see you down there, Nat Turner, saying hilarious. You can see the change up. They put up an older video of her. Now, some people have argued that change up came because she supposedly got with CamNewton. Thus, the argument is that they will switch up, they will change, they will be submissive, they'll be whatever they need to be for the right man, and that right man just happens to be an MVP, NFL quarterback. You got to be super nigga to get that kind of treatment from her. Apparently, that's what the deal is. But shout out to everybody in the building. But so that's the story there. That's the story there, that this chick who did that video, she went in, very, very, very heftily talking about how submissive she is to her man. And we're going to play that original video and we're going to get into that. But they're pulling up the older video of her. And there's a lot of ways to interpret that. There's a lot of different angles that we could potentially go with that. This is where I'm at with it. Is that it's a lot of women who it's basically to the point to where a part of them are on some, fuck men no matter what, but a lot of them, they go with the wave. They go with the wave of what's going on. And they go with this whole little thing of they're basically calling out women who say that, yeah, I like to treat men right. Because the whole industry of men basically saying, yeah, I like to treat women right, and they go to rolling out the red carpet and dropping the Coming to America rose petals at the woman's feet. Those men, we calling them simps because they be pandering, but but either way it go, the whole industry of that, it exists. It exists that men do that thing where they basically do the catering and pandering thing. All right. They typically won't get criticized unless it gets to the point of just over the top. If it gets over the top, like if men are basically on some, hey, you shouldn't be doing fuck shit, nobody really bats an eye. If men are basically saying that, yeah, I mean, if you're the man, yeah, you should want to take care of things. You should want to, have things in order. You should want to be a good father. You should want to, you should want to be the breadwinner. You don't want to let this woman be the breadwinner over you, because then she feel like she got some control and power over you. You want to have some control and some power in the situation. So that's the reason why you do want to be the one who's in position to pay for everything, more or less. Like, men can have that conversation and nobody will really bat an eye. But a woman who's on the receiving end of that kind of conversation, she gets criticized, because the man who's doing all of those things that I just described, yes, the inverse of that, the things that comes also with that is that woman who's going to also be doing all the Snuggles, go jump off something high, Snuggles. Not high enough to kill you. Don't jump off something high enough to kill you, just high enough to just sprain your ankle. That's it. We don't want to kill you, 2, maybe 3-story building, depending on how athletic you are. Just enough to sprain your ankle. Go ahead. Emmett Perry is saying she's with Cam right now. Yeah. That's what the story says. That's what the story says. That's how the story goes. It says she's with CamNewton right now. It says she's with CamNewton right now. It's like it leaked out that that was the man that she was doing all that for, or currently is the man that she was doing all that for. When those things leaked out, the internet went more crazier. They went crazy with her talking about just simply being submissive to her man. The internet went crazy over that one. Like even Brittany Renner got in on it. Even Brittany Renner got in on it. Now it's funny, before I even get into anything with Brittany Renner, it was funny simply because CamNewton went viral talking about, women, not being submissive, women not knowing how to cater to a man, not knowing how to cook, and then a woman who either is with him or used to be with him talking about the things that she do. So it's basically, he's saying that the woman that she at least presented as, because we don't know which one of those she really is, it's easy to say that she's not the chick that she was in that Shan Brody interview, but she's really that first chick. That's the easy thing to say. But what I would say more so is like that, she did have a presence, a YouTube channel. She's a comedian. She be talking shit. So maybe she was going with the flow talking shit, and maybe she act like that in real life. That's a possibility. But I tend to believe that it's probably on some fake chameleon type shit. It's probably on some fake chameleon type shit. We really don't know. She probably really is that person who was in the old video going ham, and then she's now switching gears, because you go to her YouTube channel, everything is wiped clean for like the last year. It is nothing within the last year. That video was from like 2 months ago. I don't even know where it's at. I couldn't find the original copy of it, but yeah. So it's like there was clearly a switch up. It clearly was a switch up somewhere. So that's where I'm at with it. That it was some definite high level chameleon type behavior going on right there, where maybe she switched up and said, no, I'm going to get into this whole femininity, sell this femininity thing, not selling it like she's selling courses or anything, but just sell the idea of this, push the idea of this, and put that out there. It's a lot of different ways and angles we could possibly go with that. Shout out to Dane C in the building. GA Boy says, my wife is my partner. She brings an entree to the table, not just a side dish. I care about how much money a woman makes. He says he cares about how much money a woman makes. It gets to a point with a man where you make so much money, the woman's money becomes irrelevant. If you get to that point. But if you make 70,000 and there's a certain lifestyle that you like to live, and that woman could bring 50, 60, or 70 as well, and y'all put it together and got 140,000, y'all off in a different tax bracket doing different things. So I get that from some perspectives from some men, but nah, if you can be a man and make your 70, and then this the lifestyle we live in, a $70,000 a year lifestyle, which depending on where you live, really ain't a bad lifestyle. So a woman could come in that situation, and y'all can be comfortable, cozy, and you call the shots, and she do what you say, and so forth and so on. The type of treatment that that the Jazzy Brown, or watchjazzy chick was talking, the type of shit that she was talking, that she was supposedly doing for CamNewton. Yeah, there's a such thing as being a guy making normal income and getting that kind of treatment. There is a such thing as that. Submissive women like that do exist at all levels. They may not be as bad as her, the one that a regular cat can pull, or maybe, depending on him. But either way it go, either way it go, those things are gettable and attainable. But shout out to everybody in the building. But it is interesting, because CamNewton did start a little shitstorm talking about basically modern women not being submissive and compliant and cooperative with a man. He started that fire a little while ago, and I've been covering all his backpedaling on that. I've been covering all of his backpedaling on that. He's been backpedaling his ass off. He's been moonwalking like Michael Jackson. He's been moonwalking something heavy on that. I was trying to have it ready to go, but I say, yeah, he been moonwalking on that. Cam Newton been moonwalking. He been doing spin moves out of it. He can't stand on his square. He can't stand on his square for what he said. So he backpedaling and shifting and pivoting and doing all of that because he basically said, I mean, from my perspective, he said women should act like women. That's basically what he said from my perspective. And, cancel culture came for him. And then a woman that he either is currently messing with or used to mess with came out and was just generally talking about how she treat a man. And then when it leaked out that she was with or still with Cam Newton, everybody went more crazy because they saw a woman speaking the example of what it was that he was talking about. Speaking the example of what it was that he was talking about. Before we play this Brittany Renner video of what she had to say about it, because she was on some, I'm gonna let y'all hear that. She was basically saying, hell no, we won't go, fuck that being submissive shit. we gonna get into that. Victor Carter in the building says it's not her money, it's her competence in a specific respectful industry. This is what men mean when they say we don't care about her income. That's an interesting statement. I'm going to read that again. It's not her money, it's her competence in a specific respectful industry. This is what men mean when we say we don't care about her income. Now, that is something that I do think needs to get fleshed out a little more, because you do want a competent woman, a woman that could actually help you in some kind of way. She do got to have a certain level of intelligence and competence, and that intelligence and competence normally manifests itself in her going to school and passing some classes and getting a diploma, a degree of some sort that, allows her to get a job that does make some money. So you do run into the problem that the women who may very well be most suited for the job are also the ones who may very well be most suited for the job, the actual going to work job. So that do turn into a situation. But at the same time, the things that a woman really need to do for a man, if you got your shit together, the things that she need to do, I mean, come on. What are we talking about? We're talking about cooking, cleaning. I mean, you do want a smart person watching over your kids. We're talking about cooking, cleaning, nursing kids, watching kids. And you don't have to have 130 IQ to be able to facilitate the activities of children. So I don't necessarily think you need the highest of IQ women, but we live in a society. You live in a society where there's not really checks and balances. Me and Ike was just talking about that. I was not really checks and balances on female nature and what women do. Like when I talk about checks and balances on female nature, I mean, they're pretty much free to do what they want to do when they want to do it, how they want to do it. And they got the legal backing, meaning that, yeah, if you are that guy with your shit together, yeah, she could divorce you. And if you was providing for her and taking care of her, yeah, she could take you half and she could do it on the whim. No fault divorce. She could just say, I'm tired of this nigga and I'm out of here. And then she can go ahead and do what she got to do and work the system. So their ability to work the system and do what they want to do means that even if, because, the smarter woman will make the longer calculated decision. This is better overall for my children and grandchildren and future of everything for me to work this out with this man. But a not so smart chick who's not looking, who don't got the delayed gratification skills, she just might be looking at it like, man, I could be single and free and get a few more hot girl summers in and take as much of his shit as I possibly can. And even if the well run dry in 3 or 4 years, she ain't even thinking about that. She's just thinking about the right now and the immediate. That's what chicks who are not as smart will do. That's the shit that they will engage in. But overall, the shit that a woman needs to be able to do to be suitable, to be viable. It don't take necessarily the smartest of them. Now, if y'all in a situation where y'all putting that money together, then okay, maybe. But we're about to get into this. Thank you for that super chat. Do appreciate that, Victor Carter. Thank you for that. Captain Cisco says prenuptial agreements is still some debate on that. I had the lead attorney on my show. He said that they are solid. A lot of people argue, said, of course, a damn divorce attorney would say that prenuptial agreements are solid. Of course he would. That's what that was the argument. But he said that if you do it right, a prenuptial agreement is solid. So look up the information on that. Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews did a good stream with lead attorney on that one, so you can go get the information there. Do some research after you watch those videos, but yeah, do your own research on that one. But that's what the lead attorney, who I trust him, but that's what he said. But I do recommend you do your own research on that one, because prenups do be getting thrown out. But the question, he said, is ask why were they thrown out? That's the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question, per what lead attorney said. Lead attorney said, take that how you want it. But yeah, we about to dig into this one. This was Brittany Renner. Long story short, a few new people just walked in here. Make sure you hit the like button. But backstory for the new people that came in here: the chick that went viral in the Shan Booty interview, basically saying how submissive she is to her man. It was sort of found out later that man was, or either is, CamNewton that she's with, and the whole so forth and so on. And then Brittany Renner weighed in on it. And there's also a controversial video that we want to get back into of the chick from a few months ago saying, you pick me being submissive to a man, y'all stupid. But now she's sitting here saying that, I'm very submissive to my man. So it's some chameleon behavior going on. But Brittany Renner responded to the whole notion of being submissive. Let's go.
It's painfully obvious why men love the idea of a submissive woman. Submissive, per its definition, is ready to conform to the authority or will of others.
Okay. Where she's saying that as if it's a problem. She's saying that as if it's a problem. More so, she's saying it as if women, when they talk about the type of man that they want this man to be better than them and above them in any way. They want him to be smarter than them, more financially responsible to him, more financially responsible, more financially capable. Want him to be smarter, make more money, be more industrious, be more ambitious, be bigger, stronger, taller, faster, everything, every measurable thing other than breastfeeding kids or cooking. They want this man to be able to do better than him, and they want him to be in control and be a leader, be in command. And you know, if we get into, you know, sort of the kinky shit, they like a man to be able to boss them around and tell them what to do, and they like to be, you know, I mean, we get into the sexual aspect of it. I mean, the mere act of sex is a submissive thing for a woman. I mean, hell, you're on your knee, you're on your back with your knees on your damn shoulder. You're in the most vulnerable, submissive position ever. You're butt naked and bent over. Like, what the fuck? Like, so that's why I laugh at when women try to mock the whole notion of being submissive. Like, goddamn, every time you have sex, you understand what being submissive is. How do you get on your knees and suck a dick without being submissive? Like I mean, come on. Like, some women understand that when you get up off your knees, there's still a dominant submissive relationship that goes on. And truth be told, they like that shit. So, but when they come on here they get on social media and they try to talk about it as if it's some crime against humanity for a woman to be submissive to a man. That's where the fake shit comes in to me. That's where it gets fake. That's where they just get completely fake. That's where they want their cake and eat it too. They want their cake and eat it too. That's where it is. They want to have their feminism and eat it too. That's essentially what that is. Let's back it up.
It's painfully obvious why men love the idea of a submissive woman. Submissive, per its definition, is ready to conform to the authority or will of others. The prefix sub means under. Think of subpar, submarine. In short, your world is under his. Now, there seems to be a theme here. Good girls versus bad girls. A lock that can be opened with many keys is a broken lock. And if you can't...
Listen, she's saying, in short, your world is under his. Says a woman who will only date a rich man. Like let that sink in. She's complaining about the notion that your world is under his, but in order for him to even be in your life, he has to basically conquer the Mount Everest of manhood and make himself rich in a competitive capitalist environment. You were just born hot and could twerk your ass, but you want him to look at you as 100% as an equal. Like seriously.
Your world is under his. Now, there seems to be a theme here. Good girls versus bad girls. A lock that can be opened with many keys is a broken lock. And if you can't submit to a man, you're going to die alone. So my question to men is, do you want perfect poly, a puppet, a prisoner, or a partner who has no problem overtly challenging you? King treatment?
She said, do you want perfect poly? They're taking the idea of, like, she's trying to belittle the idea and the notion of a compliant, submissive, feminine woman who's on board, who follows your program, who's not giving you a hard time to go, who you don't come home from work and you gotta peek through the door to check. You gotta check the temperature in the room when you come home from work. She said, do you want that? Yeah. that's what guys want. Yes. They want a compliant, agreeable woman who ain't giving them a hard way to go. That's exactly what they want. But then she says the inverse of this thing that we do want. She basically says, or do you want a woman with? Well, let's make sure I got exactly what she said. But I believe she said a woman with her mind of her wrong who overtly challenges you.
A prisoner or a partner? Do you want perfect poly, a puppet, a prisoner, or a partner who has no problem overtly challenging you?
Okay, she said a partner who has no problem overtly challenging you. Like, okay, it's a few things going on stupid there. The whole idea of challenging, okay, she talks about it from the perspective that a feminine, submissive woman can't also give her can't also say something wise, can't offer something wise into the conversation, as if a woman being feminine and submissive, her ability to say something that makes sense, to give you useful information, is just gone. Like, no, those women can do that too. I know that. I personally know that is the case, that those women can do that. They can also be smart, and they can offer something valuable and wise into a conversation, and can help you in many, many, many ways. So why the need for someone to overtly challenge? Those are the words you use. Why the need for someone to overtly challenge? Like, you want a woman to challenge you? Like, what the fuck is this, Wakanda? It's challenge day. I've said that before. You come home from work, she coming down the hallway. Like, what the fuck is she in Baku? It's challenge day. Bata. She just coming down the hallway like in Baku on challenge day. What the hell? Bata. It's like, why do they think that's something that we want? Why the hell do they think that that's something that men want? Especially when we're talking about, even if we get in the realm, because I mean, there's a conversation that normal people have, people making regular money have. Then there's a conversation that people that's in that lane of where we're talking about men who are extremely successful. They've already conquered Mount Everest. Yeah, they're not perfect. Yeah, there's some things in their life they probably need to fix. But I mean, a submissive woman could equally talk to them about some things that they probably need to work on, probably need to tighten up. It's probably, all types of women can say something to you, but she's talking about, do you want somebody who's going to overtly challenge you? Like, no. If a man has made himself that damn successful, he's fought and challenged he's defeated his challengers out in the real world. Like, sit your ass down and shut up.
Or a partner who has no problem overtly challenging you. King treatment and knowing your partner's love languages, that's one thing. Being submissive is a whole nother thing. It's its own thing. If you find yourself abandoning your wants, needs, desires to make something work, I'm here to...
What if your wants, need, and desire is to make that something work, especially if that something is the goddamn family? Like this is where they just jump out the window and get on some ridiculous shit.
To tell you, it was never a match to begin with.
Yeah, that was Brittany Renner's way in. That was Brittany Renner's way in on that 120 people in the building. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Captain Cisco in the building. I'm sorry, y'all looking down in my head. My laptop down here, camera up there. I'll try to, as much as possible, remember to look up. I'm going to be here tomorrow, so I may set it up differently. We'll see. We'll see if I figure it out. But excuse me. Captain Cisco in the building says feminism is teaching equity in the bedroom now. Are they really? Says feminism is teaching equity in the bedroom now. I don't even know what that means. Like I said, there in the bedroom, there's barely an equitable exchange. I mean, okay, it can be. Okay, both people orgasm, there's no equitable exchange. But the physical act of sex, I said this in the opening, the mere physical acts of sex. She's butt naked with her knees on her shoulders or butt naked and bent over. She's in the most vulnerable, submissive position ever. Like, it's not an equitable act. It is like the act of sex for women is a submissive act. There's no other way around that. It's hard to get up off your knees when you're naked and on your knees. It's hard to get up off your knees and I'm a strong woman. Okay. All right, cool. But that's just how I view it. And some people, some relationships, some women understand is that the same level of submission that takes place when you're engaging in the sexual act, you stand up in that same type of dominant, submissive aspect of the two of you continues on in your interactions throughout the day. Some women get that, some women don't. What I argue is that deal with the women that do. Deal with the women that do the relationship. Even if it's just casual, but if it's a real relationship, casual, whatever the hell, marriage, whatever the hell, it's going to go better if that's one of the parameters in it. It's just flat out. Otherwise, you constantly back and forth with somebody, and you in that constant back and forth shit, and we don't want to be in that shit. But shout out to Victor Carter back in the building. Says, haha, why would a woman want to be with a man that she has to challenge? Haha. Yeah. No, that's true. Then that's where they will contradict themselves. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. I just said it was over there on Case Closed. Had a real good show over there. Me, him, Ike, and the real Dana was talking about that whole talking about the R. Kelly thing. Ike asked a lot of real good questions, had a real good conversation, real good dialogue over there about that. But to your super chatted question, Captain Cisco, to your super chatted question, that is a really, really good point. That is a really, really good point. That when you say I had to, it's a really good point, but I can't remember what the fuck you said. Let me read it. He says, haha, why would a woman want to be with a man she has to challenge? You know that remember when CamNewton said, when he's talking about women, he said, yeah, you're a bad bitch, you're a boss bitch, but you don't know how to cook. You don't know how to let a man lead. Remember they said, if you have to ask for a woman to let you lead, then you ain't no leader. You ain't nobody she should follow if you got to even mention it. You see how the logic don't apply both ways? You shouldn't. A man shouldn't have to ask you to be submissive. You naturally submit to the man who's worthy of submitting to. However, wait, don't you want a man? Don't you want a woman to be able to challenge you? Like how do those two ideas coexist? They logically can't fit in the mind of the same person. The same person, excuse me, the same person cannot be making both of those arguments. I mean, unless you're just a contradictory person who don't make sense. I mean, of course. But in general, the same person can't make both of those arguments. He says, I think some rapper is smashing her. Now, I really don't care who's smashing who right now. Like that's not the important part. The most important part is the ideas. We tend to attack ideas and not people. I do tend to use trending viral celebrity situations to talk about the bigger issue. So I kind of can remove them from the story and just talk about the ideas and the concepts. That's typically how I do it. So, and that's why I prefaced it by saying she's either with or was with CamNewton, or CamNewton was at one point the type of man, I mean, the man that she was doing all her little submissive stuff for that she was talking about. But then the old video resurfaced where she backtracked her ass off. Well, not backtracked. An old video resurfaced where she probably said what she really feel, but now she's playing a different character on TV. So yeah, that's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. This no, that ain't what I'm doing. Hold on, give me a second. Oh snap, hold on. Give me one quick second. I'm going to be real quick with the trigger on this one, because something that I was trying to have ready to go. I do this at least once per show. I mean to have something ready to go. Then I look up and I don't have it ready to go. So give me one quick second. And I know it's funny because I'm looking down at a laptop and y'all are looking at the top of my head. Hopefully I'm not going bald. While I'm looking down. Turned 40 not too long ago on the 28th of June. I've been 40 for about 5 days or so. Still got my hair on top of my head. So can't nobody tell me nothing. When you got your hair at 40, can't nobody tell you nothing. All right, give me a second. I got it ready to go. Got it ready to go. Here we go. All right. A couple people ducked out of here when I was looking for it, but I found it. So let's go ahead and get into it.
% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.
Why? What do you mean? Look at you.
I know. I don't know why you're feeling away.
Why?
I don't know why this chick always got to sit Indian style in a chair. I mean, it's weird. It don't look comfortable. It's clearly on purpose at this point. It's just part of her little thing that she do. Is I don't know. I mean, maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe women. Maybe it's just a woman thing. But I don't care how big the chair is. I don't even know if never mind. It just looked weird when people sit Indian style in a chair. It just that's just her little way of saying I'm very earthy and eccentric. Look at me. But anyway.
What do you mean? Look at you.
I should be nervous.
No.
Purchase of a website or a domain.
I know.
I don't know why you're feeling away.
Why? What do you mean? Look at you.
I should be nervous.
No, why?
Because if I ask stupid questions, if I step on your
Never.
toes.
Never. I'm so nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna unravel today? Even though I know that everything we talk about is gonna be needed for people to hear, especially from me, because you said I would never think you would be like that.
I would not.
And that's interesting to me.
So you know why? Because when I know of you is you've always been a hustler. You've
Yep.
always been a boss. You
Yeah.
constantly reinvent yourself.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what I said.
yes.
My first.
All right, see, and that's the telling thing for those of you who saw the tape. Is what she's saying. Yeah, people saying, "Oh, I wouldn't think that you would be like that." Basically, just being this, woman who, champions submission and all of that. She's saying you always been a boss and you always reinvent yourself. And here it is, another example of her reinventing herself. It's like okay. I'm divided on it because we've made some noise online calling out how out of pocket women are nowadays, and now women are hearing it, and now they're trying to push their own little movements to at least present like they're in pocket. and so now it's to the point to where when chicks, get on their little platforms and sit on their little couches and start talking and interviewing with a well-lit, well-produced TV set looking show and everything. And then I was like, all right, now it's like they're just taking the shit that they heard the men say, and now they're just saying, oh yeah, and I do this too, and I'm like that, and I'm like that. And it just comes off as fake as hell. It comes off as fake as hell. But in this case, an older video surfaced that may have proved that this was fake as hell.
The foremost comment to you was, I've known about you for over a decade now.
Oh, thank you.
That to be said, my perception of you has been like career oriented, me first, not in a negative way, but like kind of like that person who's like, I'm no good to you if I'm not good to me.
Yeah. And it's interesting.
She's like, she hitting her with a perfect, I'm going to stack up these plastic bowling pins and I'm going to give you a big ass plastic wiffle ball to roll and knock these pins down with. It's like the left hand talking to the right hand sock puppet conversation that they having at this point. Even though and keep in mind, I did call it from jump when I first. That's why I didn't do no content on it. When I first heard her talking about all that, how much she submits to her man, I didn't do no content on it. As I always say with a lot of these chicks, just give it some time. It's good that they're saying it, okay? Good that they're saying it. Good that people's hearing it. Whatever. If women want to do that, I'm all for women having those type of conversations, particularly if they have an audience that markets and caters to women. If they have a female audience and they're saying it, I'm good with it. I'm not anti it if they have a majority male audience and they're saying it, but I applaud it if they have a majority female audience. That means they're talking to women about how women should conduct themselves, and I'm good with that. But when they're talking to the majority of men on it, there's an element of it where I do a small bit of not side eyeing, because I'm not saying the person is wrong for putting up the content, saying something that I agree with. I'm not going to say they're wrong for saying something I agree with. I'm just going to say that it's not reaching the ears of the people that need to hear it. That's all I'm saying.
You say that, me first. I'm not even like that. I think that it seems like that because of how I hustle, but even when I hustle, it's not even for me.
All right, so let's bring it back to the basics. What is the art of being submissive?
First step.
Even when I hustle, it's not for me. I believe this is a woman who's not married, don't got kids. Even when I hustle, it's not for me. Well, who is it for?
Is get with somebody who wants what you have to offer. I think love and submission is a tailored fit. It's not a one size fits all. So I can only tell you what it means to me. Now, for me, it's complete selflessness. I
agree with that statement that you made about it not being a one size fits all. Get with somebody who fits you like a glove. I do agree with that.
Satisfied in serving. I'm a servant, and I watched my mother serve all my life, and it was rain, sleet, or slow. I think we talked about this on the phone. My mother's love for my father wasn't conditional. It's not my responsibility, but
it's your joy.
It is my joy. I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Like every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest. And it shouldn't be conditional.
A part of that lack of conditions too.
And just on those words that came out of her mouth, just want to make it very clear. Those words that came out of her mouth, that is beautiful. those type of women exist. I mean, she talked about it on an extreme spectrum, but you know, like listen, I've talked about a woman on this show. Like she's a good woman, hands down, through and through. She does the damn thing for me. So I understand what she's talking about. I understand that type of thing exists. It do. The only problem is that, well, like I said earlier in the show, this video here resurfaced. Hold on, where we at? This video here resurfaced is one that I'm about to pull up right now. And I damn near hate doing this. Because if a chick says some things that beautiful, you kind of just want to let it rock. You want to let her live, you know, let her live. You don't gotta always snatch the mask off the Scooby-Doo villain. Let him rock out. But we about to roll some not so beautiful bean footage.
Trust me, this is coming out of love. This message is for all the pick-me's. Pick-me's are women who try to do everything right just so a man can choose me.
This is the actual original video. I didn't have a full clip. I got the full clip now. Thank you to the wonderful person who finds everything for me that I need. Thank you. Got the full clip here.
Yeah, cut that shit out. Because I'm going to keep it real with you. Men already know what they want in a woman and who they want. But if you're so nurturing and you're an asset and it's not you, they'll never tell you to stop doing what you're doing because it's beneficial. And I don't want to hear none of that shit like, oh, I'm just a nice person. I'm genuinely like that. Well, bitch, you going to genuinely get played. No, it's just that I'm just naturally like that. Like the shit I do for him is natural. And your natural ass is going to get played. If you are making a man's life easier, i.e. cooking, cleaning, providing pussy whenever he wants, and he's giving you the minimum, he's never going to do more. And he's never going to tell you to stop because it's beneficial to him. No history in the niggadom ever has a man been like, oh, stop doing all this stuff. Stop making my life easier. I don't look at you like that. Hell no, they gonna kick their motherfucking feet up and enjoy these perks without doing no work. Hey, besties. I know I'm gonna offend some people, but trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, like I said, there's multiple ways that you could go with that. You could say that she was like that until she got with the guy who she was willing to switch it up for. I have always argued that those chicks who gonna be like the original, like the chick that we just saw here, let me see how old this is. This was almost 3 months ago. I believe almost 3 months ago. So wow, whole different energy,
Hey, besties.
Hold on, we're not trying to roll it. It say 10 weeks, so about 2.5 months. Well, the comment that I see is from 2.5 months, so I'm assuming the whole video.
Hey, besties. I know I'm
assuming the whole video is from 2.5 months now. So it's either one or two possibilities. Either she was the person y'all see here, the person y'all just saw on the couch. Either she was that, but she was putting out the front because that what was popular and that what was sell. And then remember in the conversation when they was like, well, I've seen you reinvent yourself. You reinvent yourself all the time. So she's basically now she's being I'm the feminine submissive woman thing. So either way it goes, it's like, was she acting then or she acting now? It's all a goddamn act. They entertain her. So it's almost to a degree where the chicks that come online talking about this shit is like I side eye all of it. I'll even take y'all back to even when we was talking, even when April Mason said that shit. Even when April Mason said that shit, I was like, give it some time. It didn't take long with April Mason. It took about maybe like a week for her to go on the lead attorney, and then she's basically found out that she's basically been teaching a masculinity class for women, basically, damn near. But Azrael today, Walker in the building says this conditional femininity was He says, if conditional femininity was a person, rest in BS. Yeah. I mean that's definitely a way to look at it, because it is. If she really did change up because she met said right dude, then that is her trying to basically pull some conditional femininity type stuff. My opinion on that is that it don't work. You either are or you're not. I don't want some masculine chick who, because she's feeling me, she's going to sit, stay, lay down, play dead, roll over, do whatever the hell I say perfectly, just okay, because she's feeling me, but that ain't really who she is. Okay, then when she stopped feeling me, then she gonna bring out the full wrath. But while she was feeling you, you didn't let her in. You didn't gave her the keys and shit like that. So that's where it get into some bullshit. That's where it get on some. It don't matter how they conducting themselves. Feed them with a long handled spoon. Keep it casual, and that's where that argument comes in. Dudes who, when you start accepting that conditional femininity, I told y'all the story before. It was a chick that I was messing with. Man, she was everything was solid. She was 100%, on board with me. I mean, but again, it was casual. It was casual. She was telling me the story about how she was in a relationship with a dude, and how I remember she saw him out with another chick. No, they was in like a 10-year relationship. I believe they may have been married. Had 3 kids. All right. I believe she had been married to this dude from like 20 to 30, had a few kids. She saw him out with another chick. He hopped in the car. He was trying to drive off, I guess, or him and the other chick was riding off, and she saw him. I forgot exactly the details, but long story short, the story ended with her being in a 90-mile-per-hour high-speed chase trying to track this dude down to fight him and or the chick. Like, she had that much aggression in her that she was doing 90 miles per hour through a residential neighborhood trying to fight somebody. This same chick, and this ain't just a humble brag, but it's important to the story. Me and this chick, we had a threesome with another chick. I'm like, so I'm sitting there listening to the story like, damn, you were trying to fight this man because of what? Because you saw him with another chick, but you had a threesome with me and another chick. Why? I didn't even ask her that, but I just thought it. But but the conclusion that I came to in that is that me and her was keeping it completely 100% casual. Okay. So in that casual situation where we was just hooking up on the weekends, she would bring food to my job every now and then, and we would get together on the weekend. We wouldn't really see each other during the week. I worked a weird schedule. She would come to my job, bring me some food, maybe once or twice a week, and just make sure that we were still good for the weekend. And then we would kick it on the weekend, and then we would go our separate ways. In that situation, she was 100% feminine, submissive, and cooperative in that situation. Now, what would have happened to me had I took that temporary conditional femininity and said, oh yeah, this is it. I found me a good one. Look, she bringing food to my job every day, giving me good sex on the weekend, 100% compliant, down to have a threesome, and if I would have ended up in that 10-year relationship with her, and then I would have been the one dealing with all her erratic behavior, her all over the place emotions, her periods, her volatile, erratic female, emotions. I would have been the one in the high speed chase. You see, that would have been me. I would have been that dude. So that's why I'm not on that. She ain't go act like that for me type shit. No, if I find out anywhere in your history that you was on that kind of fuck shit, we can get on some fuck shit together. But we ain't gonna be messing with each other for real. So that switching up for the right dude, give it some time. Give it some time. The real deal gonna come out. Give it some time. But shout out to Jay Freeman Blackman in the building. Shout out to Jay Freeman Blackman in the building. Came through hard, heavy with a heavy-handed $50 super chat. Do appreciate you. Do appreciate you coming through hard and heavy-handed with a $50 super chat. Do appreciate everybody who support the stream. I don't have my phone. Oh wait, hold on. I don't want to leave that. No. Hold on. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I'm trying to do something else. Don't have my phone on me. Oh, yes, I do. I'm lying. I just right here. I was about to say I can't see who's actually I can't see who's actually sending cash apps, but I do appreciate. I can't see that. I can't see who's sending cash apps at the moment, but I will in a second because I did locate my phone. But Jay Freeman, Black Man, thank you for the $50 super chat. I was about to give you a wrench. You already got one. You already got one. Appreciate people who support the stream hard and heavy like that. And we also got Azrael the Daywalker in the building, came through on the super chat in with $5. Do appreciate you. He says, I'm waiting on Beyonce to be single. That way I can finally rest in my masculinity. Shout out to women who say it take the right man. Right. Yeah, because you walking around, being extra feminine right now, but then as soon as you encounter the right woman, and by the right woman you mean Beyonce, then all of a sudden you're going to become masculine. But no, yeah, that's their argument. I'm gonna be a masculine out-of-pocket bitch until I meet the right guy, and then I'm gonna just, y'all got me dropping clips today. She's gonna be masculine out-of-pocket bitch all day, but when she meet the right guy,
It's morphin' time.
she's gonna morph into the woman that she was meant to be all along. Shout out to Azrael the Daywalker. I do appreciate you. But yeah, that's how it is. That's how they roll. That's what they do. That's how it is. That's how they roll. That's what they do. Weather, get the fuck out of here. Bernard is finally seeing the light on what we anti-SBE brothers have been saying. Get all the way the fuck out of here. What did I see the light on that I didn't see the light on before? And what if there's no such thing as anti-SBE. Don't get me started on that shit. Do not get me started on that shit. Do not get me started on that shit. That you get your take your cape off. I ain't gonna go there. I'll let you explain what you mean. Because everything that I said today on this show, if you can dig up a stream of me saying that probably a year ago. Yeah, I don't think I've said nothing on this show today that I've never said before. If I've made every point that I've made today, I've made it in a different way. Mr. Donnie Mack is saying, what is SBE? SBE stands for shame, blame, and explain. There are some men who say that you shouldn't shame, blame, or explain to women. That's their thing. They're saying don't do that. And by doing a reaction video to a woman where you call out and point out the inconsistencies, inaccuracies, pick apart her arguments, and refute the nonsense, the lies that she's pointing out there, and you present the truth to your 90% male audience for them to see it, you're still shame, blaming, and explaining a woman, and you shouldn't do that. Dude, you can go back to the debate I had. You can go back to the debate I had with the breakdown of woman's perspective. Just a George and Concrete Rose back on Brother Xavier's show, when I basically pointed out that you're either feminine or you're not. You're either submissive or you're not. You can go all the way back then. Listen, man, I'm trying not to whether I might have to time you out just so I can get back on focus. I'm trying not to go in because I'll say this, and I'll say this mildly. I'm not trying to start a slew of reaction videos, but the person who invented the term and phrase shame, blame, and explain did a reaction video to the McDonald's chick, and it's almost impossible to talk about the bullshit that women do without shame, blaming, and explaining. I'll just say that. I'm not even going to say he was shame, blaming, and explaining. I'm just saying it's hard to not call out the fuck shit without shame, blaming, and explaining. That's all I'll say. And we're going to leave it right there. And we're going to leave that right there. It's a faulty concept. It is a very faulty concept. That when you do manosphere type content and you speak up for men and counter the stuff that women say and counter the stuff that women do, it's practically impossible to do that without fitting the broad definition of what shame, blame, and explain is. Now, when you challenge them on that, they try to narrow the definition into something very specific. But when it comes time to charge people up with doing it, it's very broad. And that's why I'm getting out of there. He says a real player doesn't SBE, he just lies to him. Now you're talking about SBE as if it's a mating strategy. What the fuck are you? Man, y'all are retarded. I'm sorry. I'm done. All right. Super chat came from Ebo Sosa. Okay. When the hell did shame become a bad thing? Shame is just the first step to accountability. Got to feel shame about what you've done wrong to be accountable. Shout out to Ebo Sosa. Shout out to you, man. I'm trying to get out of there, and you didn't pull me back in there. I'm trying to get out of there. All I'll say is this. I have my opinion on that. Right when it happened, right when they start, right when that shit started going down, I wasn't going. I just flat out wasn't going. And I'm gonna leave it there. I ain't trying to, have no reaction videos. I try to stay out of the bullshit.
Hey, besties. I know I'm gonna offend some people, but trust me, this is coming out of love. This message is
try to stay out of the bullshit and just do content. I'm trying to get this video down. I'm trying to pull the previous one back up. No, you good, Ebo Sosa. You good. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's hard. The concept of SBE is so... I don't even know what people be talking about. It's whatever. But shout out to all y'all in the building, 145 people in the building. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Appreciate everybody who has supported the stream. Damn it. I was only supposed to be doing an hour today. I was supposed to be doing an hour and getting the hell out of here. And look like I'm going over. Okay, I'm extended out just a little. Not there. Where's it at? All right, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, wait, hold on. Damn it. All right.
Means that you do your duty joyfully regardless of what's being done for you.
That's it. I do my duty joyfully regardless of what is happening to and for me. Now some...
She looked at the camera like she reading cue cards. All right, I've been actually trying to be nice.
Days I might be more cheerful than others because I have my own stuff going on. And there's times where it's like, I don't even want to say what's going on with me because, again, I know how to deal with me and my pain. I'll cry in the shower and keep it moving, But in the art of submission for me, because I can't speak for everybody, is being joyful about it. That want of, and I think not even just a want.
Again, she's being exposed as being fake. But there is a such thing as women who actually do find joy in doing that. I'm aware of the... trust me, don't ask me how I know. But no, there are women who do find joy in doing that. There are women that do find joy in doing that. Thus, the reason there's a hard campaign where women push back, argue, and fight against those who talk about it. They don't want people talking about it. They don't want to get in and out. That's why Brittany Renner did a reaction video to this chick who said this, and then they got on a hard media campaign, a cold campaign blitz. We gotta defraud this chick. Now, I mean, if they defrauded her, they defrauded her. I ain't gonna back you up after you've been defrauded. But the fact of the matter is, when women start talking like this, it be the sisterhood. They come down on her hard. They come gunning for her. They gonna come gunning for her. My argument is, and it always has been, the women who operate at least bare minimum like what she is saying and show steady, consistent behavior over time, those are the women that you deal with. Those are the women that get real, actual consideration. That is my position.
The power of knowing that you have the power to make someone's day better. And that's a choice.
And easier.
Yes, better and easier. That's a choice that you have to make. I always make the choice to do it. I like to give. I like to allow my person to lead. They know, especially like when it translates in the bedroom, I like to feel dominated. Riding dick ain't always my favorite position because I like to be taken advantage. Oh my gosh. No, I don't like to be taken advantage of.
Yes, you do. God damn it. Yes, you do.
I like to feel.
That's okay. I like to be degraded.
Yeah.
Those are languages that I like and I accept.
I do. But
she said, I like to be degraded. Those are languages that I like and I accept. Remember when I said at the beginning, the act of sex is a submissive act for a woman. It's hard to engage in sex and not be submissive unless they're on top. That's why I don't let we try not to get too much into it. Me and the chick got been messing with each other for at least a couple months before I let her get on top. I don't let them get on top. I don't until after a while. That's a true story. But anyway, she said, I like to be. Let me rewind that, make sure I quote her right. I'm about to make a point here.
Oh my gosh. No, I don't like to be taken advantage of.
Yes,
I like to feel.
That's okay. I like to be degraded.
Yeah.
Those are languages that I like and I accept.
I do. But
when a woman is having sex, she's naked on her back with her knees on her shoulders. She's butt ass naked and bent over. You can't be in more of a submissive, subservient position than that. Why do some pretend like it's just some unholy territory that when you get up off your knees from sucking a dick, that man who you was down on your knees for, that you still would have some level of subservientness or some level of submission, some level of a dominant, submissive relationship with him when you're not naked and on your knees like that. What they're talking about right now is proving my point. It's proving my point. They're basically yes, they like to be they like to be degraded. I mean, she said, I ain't got to put that much. I don't got to colorize it that much. She put the word right on it. They like to be degraded. But here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. What this chick is talking about, fake or not fake, what she's talking about is how she's talking about she likes to be dominated. She likes to be in that submissive position. She likes to be used and taken advantage of and taken away and all of this. She likes all of that. This chick is admitting that she likes the same thing, but she's going to explain that when she gets up off the ground and when she gets up off her knees and wipes off her mouth, that now we are 100% equal partners, and this is what I expect from you for this partnership to work. She's going to admit that later on.
If I'm comfortable and if I trust you. So just know what that means. Know that dance with your partner. I think of relationships and submission and being submissive is like, it's like an 8 count. Know that dance. You better know that 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, dishes clean. 2, laundry. 3, if you have a long day and you fight in the world, you would never come back and fight me. You would never come back and walk into a space that is not welcoming you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Do you think that this is controversial in some capacity?
Absolutely.
And that statement that she just made about that if you go out and fight the world, you never walk back in and fight me. Now, She could fall in that category. I know I'll be hitting them with that Jay-Z. You know, she not a writer, she a biter. I mean, she not a biter, she a writer. I'll be hitting them with that. But at the same time, that fake or not fake, that statement does counter what Brittany Renner was talking about. Well, Brittany Renner did a reaction video to this. She was talking about how, you know, do you want little perfect Polly, the puppet, or do you want somebody who's going to overtly challenge you? But we're talking about women who, like, they only dealing with the best of men. They only dealing with millionaires. This millionaire has went out in the world, conquered and defeated all his challengers, and got rich. What the fuck do he need a challenge from your little bitty ass from? What you need to do? Like, that's essentially what she's saying. When she's saying he's not going to go out and then, you know, have to face the world and then have to face me. Like, so was she's fake or not fake? What she's saying is absolutely right.
To some, it could be enabling. You know, and someone told
What
me,
up, Ed? I see you down there in the chat.
One time, they're like, you're enabling him. And I told him how that made me feel. And he was like, of course they're going to say that. They don't have nobody doing that for them.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel like maybe I am. But at the same time, that's my love. So if you don't understand it, you know, I'm not loving on you for you to get it. That's how I love. And whoever I love is going to get that benefit.
Yes.
There was a time where, you know, women needed men for everything. We couldn't even open up a bank account, you know? And now it's like women are really in their bag where they're like, I have my own business. I'm doing this. I don't need a man for nothing. Like, basically, like, can I be frank? Like, I don't need a nigga for shit. I don't, you know? And
right there, she spoke in the cadence that she spoke in the previous video. But anyway, go ahead.
Can say those words, but I want one.
So my brain wants to understand the exchange here. Because
know,
and this could be
it's
not no, you're doing great. But because I told you I'm gonna ask a bunch of stupid questions.
Yeah.
Because this dynamic, I think, like, my relationship with my partner is very egalitarian, like we're equals. Like, I don't ever feel like I'm giving for the sake of giving, and I'm not receiving for the sake of receiving.
But I like to be degraded by my equal. It's just funny. I'm sorry, when the way they talk in this modern time, where the world has been made easy to where the artsy fartsy crafty creativity shit that they can do can make them rich, or bare minimum just make them money and viable. But it's something in their nature, going back to the statements that she made, it's something in their nature that they do like to be, you know, dominated aggressively, physically, in some cases mentally, and all of that by a man. But that's their nature. That's at their core. But it's like their modern social construct programming is saying all the stuff that she's saying right now. And damn it, I meant to wrap this up sooner because I got some 4th of July shenanigans to get into. Yes, I still celebrate all the holidays. I like the holidays. I don't celebrate what the holiday is normally for, but I celebrate, you know, friends, family getting together, drinking and eating and talking shit. And I got to get into some of that. So I'm going to wrap this up real soon.
Relationship with my partner is very egalitarian, like we're equals. Like, I don't ever feel like I'm giving for the sake of giving, and I'm not receiving for the sake of receiving. I'm receiving being like, well, I deserve this, and I'm giving being like, you deserve this. So there's that exchange happening.
So you you tell him the thing
for the sake of receiving. I'm receiving being like, well, I deserve this, and I'm giving being like, you deserve this. So there's that exchange happening.
So you you tell him the things that you need?
Yeah.
And the things that you feel like you deserve, you'll say that?
100%.
How will you say that?
I need you to step.
Like, that's huge. Like, I hate that this chick got exposed, but the way she's wording it, like, yo, you say that to him? Like you really say that to him? And then how do you say it? How do you react to it? Like, I love that.
And the things that you feel like you deserve, you'll say that?
100%.
How will you say that?
I need you to step up in these areas. I need to not worry about this. I need to be able to take my brain off this thing. I need more affection. I need more love. If we're going to be sexual, here's the things that I need to, like, feel more sexual. And in return, I invite that. Like, so we have a lot of conversations.
How does he receive it well?
I think everybody has a problem with being told that they're not doing enough, because we always go to like, well, I'm already doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So I think that there can be, I wouldn't say that he's always arms wide open, but he always adjusts. But so I guess when I'm listening to your relationship style, I'm like, if we kind of broke it down into like to-dos specifically, like what does a submissive...
Hey, game changer. I see that what the hell. I see that what the hell in the chat room. And I don't got that much time. Like I said, I got to get out of here. But I know that one is right up your alley to talk about. So if you want to come up here and give us a 5-minute rant or sermon on that one, there's a link right there. I'm about to get up out of here soon. But I initially did want to get Game Changer in on this conversation. He said he's probably going to be busy. Said he was probably going to be busy and wasn't going to be able to make it. But if you can make it in on this, he said he can. He's driving. So, all right, cool. No big deal. I did want to get you in on that. It's weird in the whole egalitarian relationship. That means we look at everything 100% equal partnership, but degrade me during sex, dominate me during sex, be dominant, be this, be. I need all these things during sex. Okay, when I get up, I wipe myself off. Okay, this is what I need from you. I need you to do A, B, C, and D. I need you to perform in this area. I need to not be worrying about this. Like she's talking. Okay. Let me break it down this way. There is a such thing as a woman not wanting to worry about certain things that a man is supposed to take care of. But the energy in which she was saying it, to me, it sounded like she was on some, like a superior at a job doesn't want to have to worry about this. So he's giving these assignments to his subordinate, and you need to take care of these things. You want your job right, don't you? Okay, I need you to get on this. That's what I got from that. Even though there is a place where, women don't want to have to worry about certain shit. They got a man, they don't want to, if a woman is doing what she's supposed to do and everything, I understand the argument that she's saying that, when it comes to my car, I just, it should just run, and I don't need to know nothing about what's going on with it. You should, make sure that thing is doing what it need to do. I get that. But that ain't what it sounded like she was saying. It sounded like she was talking superior, like a superior officer talking to a subordinate officer, like that, or an officer that's under him. I don't know the exact lingo with officers, but I think y'all understand the simple point that I'm making. And we didn't get Ed today. We didn't get Game Changer today, but we got Ed, and I'm gonna let Ed, because I'm gonna get out of here real soon, Ed. But I'm gonna let you take us home. Go ahead and give us your thoughts on this. What you got?
No, I mean, I appreciate you doing this, by the way.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And I will say the value in this is that this is how women interact with each other, absence of a man being around. And this is one of the reasons why they got so annoyed about Kevin, because she wouldn't have got very far saying that shit to Kevin. Because, and quite frankly, I'd even throw in there Jason Black, because what she's saying is the dude that she's with is a bitch. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Can you hear me better now? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you good.
Yeah. I'm gonna just say it just like that. Like at the end, like, and if I really were to break it down, that's probably a dude that, he puts an extra novelty on her being like light skinned or some shit like that. But the reality, I mean, because to say, okay, well, let's say,
Ed, are you trying to say that niggas out here being submissive to light skinned women?
What I'm saying is, I'm talking about the realm of possibilities. Let's say, okay, assuming this nigga ain't a bitch and he ain't bitch made, and he's actually a actual man that, she can have confidence in. Why would a dude tolerate that? And that's, I mean, shit, Fantastic would say the same shit. That would be one of the possibilities, but where dudes might tolerate that shit more and keep it. But the reality is, if you actually look at the thing behind the thing, this is how she's describing it. But dudes don't respond that way. Not dudes that women actually want. not dudes that women want. Like, I need you, like you said it yourself, like a workplace relationship. Because if
Yeah.
you're dealing with that, then you're not at peace when you're doing that. And a woman is supposed to be your peace. Oh, you ain't supposed to look at a chick like, damn, I gotta go and perform. I gotta go to work. Like, yeah, because then you start thinking about it like that, which is why niggas cheat, by the way. Niggas cheat to get away from that. Why did he cheat with this chick that's uglier than me? That's why. Because he feels like he has to perform with you. And dudes get tired of that. Because dudes have to do that in other ways of life. But she's not telling the whole truth. She's not telling the truth. She's not. Like she's saying that with a woman because of what, and even then she questioned it. I appreciate that, but that's not how relationships work. Not in relationships that are actually a dude is actually being a man that a woman is respecting and not just running it all up on. So when they say it's equal, it's not equal. It's never equal. It means the dude is doing everything she wants. That sounds like a fucking friend zone relationship where she's probably having sex with another dude. But I don't think she's telling the truth. I think that's how she perceives her relationship, but I don't really believe that's what's really going on. I believe that's what she's telling her girls, trying to sit there and look like she has her shit together. But I mean, you got a lot of women that try to play that role and then they on that bullshit. Like Kendra G runs a whole show trying to help other people, and then when she got in front of Kevin, you saw how that ended up looking like her freezing her eggs.
Yeah. No, that was very, very exposing. Shout out to who we got in here that says TJ17. Shout out to Bernard and Ed. Great case study for the present and future. Absolutely. Now, what do you think about? I'm assuming that you've seen the older video resurface of the chick on the right named watchjazzy. Jasmine Brown is her name. Her YouTube channel, watchjazzy or something like that. An older video came out of her going in on pick-me's and submissive women and this or that. Have you seen that?
I'm aware of the video. I'm aware of it. I mean, it's typical chameleon behavior. That's why 90% of these chicks are automatically on the chameleon watch list, for a certain amount of time. They're on a probationary period where they get watched because I have put lists together that I constantly have to adjust because women will say the right thing. I've seen women say the right things for a whole year and then fuck up and then start consistently messing up. So you have to always watch. You just not always watch them, but pay attention and not let your guard completely down. But yeah, and so she's on that selective femininity tip. Now, here's the thing. She is actually the depth as women try to describe what a pick me is, even the women is on that bullshit. She's actually the definition of what that is. Like what the caricature. Notice how she's saying the most. She's going over and beyond. I do this and I do that. And da. Get the fuck out of here. You're a Western female in the United States of America. Regardless of you being black or whatever, that's bullshit. Okay. Like especially when you talk about a black dude. Nah, that's bullshit. You even with a chick that's Latina, like you're doing too much as far as talking about all of this. You're going over the top. Even and granted, you're dealing with a dude like Cam, which is also something you have to consider. Cam is like a bona fide, baller with social status and all of that. So you're going to do that because you're gonna be replaced if you don't. And so you have to do that if you want to stay in the game. And if she has her own social media following, she has an incentive to try to do that. But the reality is I'm not saying you have to be submissive to every man. None of us in the space are saying that. Game Changer is not saying that. So let's be clear. But what we're saying is that's not necessarily what selective femininity is, but you acting right with a baller. I mean, that's of course you're going to do that because you're not going to be around if you don't. Like, because you're easily replaceable at that tier, especially when you're talking about somebody that is. Cam could have been the face of the NFL. He could have been.
Yeah, he kind of was for like a year and a half.
Well, they always had that resistance, and then that's why they try to make it like he's always in trouble or he always hurt because they didn't really want to slap his name up there. But you're right, he could have been a candidate. And he was pretty much de facto that. Yeah,
all day. This is that original video. I'm gonna play that in a second. It even came up in the video that we was watching where the Shan Booty chick asked her would you do that for a broke man or something like that? And she said no. Then it was a little bit of word salad, so we'll probably get into that. But you did make a good point that nobody in this space is saying a woman should be submissive to every man, but I do think a woman should be submissive to every man that she makes a decision to be with.
Yeah,
if you've decided, if a woman has literally made the calculation that this is a man worthy of me being with, he should be a man worthy of you submitting to. If he's not, that means you're making a conscious decision to be with a man you have no intentions on being submissive to, which basically means you're coming in saying that you're either going to be, I'm going to be with him, but I'm going to be combative and bitchy to him, or I'm going to be with him and try to construct some word saladed type of relationship like Shan Booty was just talking about, where, oh yeah, we're an equal egalitarian partnership, but this is what I expect from you, this is what I want, and this is what I require, which basically means you got a man submitting to you. And then so basically it's
now the question she didn't ask, and she would have been a better question, but she know not to ask this question, is what does he ask of you? And I bet you she would have her IQ would have free falled at that point. She would have acted like she didn't understand English all of a sudden. Like that would have been the easier answer. Because what are things you've had to adjust? Specifics. Well, we all have to adjust certain things in a relationship. No. What is it? And is it you telling him more or him telling you more? Because the truth is, if you got to constantly tell dudes what to do, then maybe y'all are not compatible. You need to trade him in for another one. Now, if you haven't, that means you haven't found one that is a greater than, usually. Not one that you is going to put up with your shit. And so she don't seem like she's slow, because there's degrees to that. And another thing I want to say before you play this video is a lot of these chicks, this was even true with Kevin, rest in peace, a lot of these chicks clout chasing. A lot of these chicks are trying to build a following. I mean, and I'm not even talking about they're brand new trying to do it. They're seeing this as an angle. A lot of stuff that people used to accuse Jessica X of, which I always kind of said that wasn't obvious, but that doesn't mean that there's not other women that definitely fit what a lot of dudes are saying. And notice this: when you can see their face, you don't ask those questions as much when you really should. Because you're not going to think about, I can see her face, she's attractive, let me go along with everything she's fucking saying. No, you need to ask those questions then too. Because, and to be fair to social media, they found this video. To be fair, I wonder if it was a sister that found this or a brother.
Man, listen, my theory is whenever some shit get unearthed and found, it's always a woman.
Yeah.
Women will they will deep dive and dig up fucking Johnny Cochran. They don't give a damn. They will pull... They pull motherfuckers out the grave. They have to. They got to find some evidence.
Yeah, you know where that comes from, right?
Where?
There's a sister organization from DICE. It's called VICE.
What?
Vaginal Investigation and Customs Enforcement.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Cool, they'll dust that off for pick-me's typically. Go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, because Weather is saying that Ed's going to make me miss the barbecue. Actually, I just received a text message and I was informed that not a barbecue, but the food. I think I was just informed that the food was not quite yet ready, so I ain't really missing nothing yet. I show up when the food's ready. But anyway, all right. So okay, where we at? Let's roll the tape, the old tape. Let's go.
I know I'm gonna offend some people, but trust me, this is coming out of love. This message is for all the pick-me's. Pick-me's are women who try to do everything right just so a man can choose me. Yeah, cut that shit out. Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. Men already know what they want in a woman and who they want. But if you're so nurturing and you're an asset and it's not you, they'll never tell you to stop doing what you're doing because it's beneficial. And I don't want to hear none of that shit like, oh, I'm just a nice person, I'm genuinely like that. Well, bitch, you gonna genuinely get played. No, it's just that I'm just naturally like that. Like the shit I do for him is natural. And your natural ass is gonna get played. If you are making a man's life easier, i.e. cooking, cleaning, providing pussy whenever he wants, and he's giving you the minimum, he's never going to do more. And he's never going to tell you to stop because it's beneficial to him. No history in niggadom ever has a man been like, oh, stop doing all this stuff. Stop making my life easier. I don't look at you like that. Hell no, they gonna kick their motherfucking feet up and enjoy these perks without doing no work. Hey, besties.
I mean, that's not wrong what she's saying, but it's like, yo, you are literally playing a character that either you're lying now or you're lying in. And I believe you're lying. I believe this is the real her and she was lying. And the other thing, because she literally did in the previous video what she's talking about now. That's what I said. I haven't seen all these videos like this, by the way, and that's what I said. What did I say, Bernard? She's being a caricature. She's doing too much. She's actually what they try. Now, most women don't do that much, not like that. As far as they say all of that, like they'll try to say somebody like Jessica X or Shay Sade is a pick. No, they're not. No, they're not. Not like what y'all talking about. That's called cooperation. That's called putting in what you want to get out. You know, but women are always in this like hyper exaggerated. Maybe that's them being emotional, but I don't believe she do all that shit for Cam. Truth be told, I think she does more, but I don't think she do all of that. Cause that shit's fake.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild because, like I said, it's funny. You said there's a what did you call it? A chameleon watch list.
Yeah, that's my shit. Yeah, it's a chameleon and a chameleon probationary period where you go unless you're married to a black man. Like that's like a Shay, you know, unless he do something to get her in, I can see her coming out of it, like not being in that. But for the most part, you going in that. It's an incubator period. It's like you know, you got COVID.
Yeah. Where I'm at with it, I don't care what I hear. I always end up there's some degree of skepticism, even in the ones that's cool, even in the ones that seemingly check out every box. I'm like, nah, it's always going to be a little small amount, but yeah, I mean, you pointed out, you know, Shay Sade, that's the homegirl. You said she married to a brother, married to a black man, and
well, yeah, I mean, for a certain amount of time, yeah. I mean, I'm just giving an example because people be like, "Well, you saying all women?" No, I've given you a clear example of who's not in of somebody that's not in there, and then you got to get two bona fide folks to sign you out. So like a game changer and somebody else, because you may be able to get one nigga, but you're not gonna get like two or three of us. Somebody gonna see that bullshit. Because you know, dudes have their favorites, and I can put myself in that category too. But dudes have their favorites, so they might be able to, you know, get somebody to sign the paperwork. So it's got to be triple verified. Yeah, you ain't getting bad. You ain't getting out with that.
You got to get multiple signatures from certified people to sign her out.
Yeah. And then niggas can lose their certification because we got a lot of niggas that be dabbing in the, you know, purple pill shit. You know, sometimes, you know, they want to all of a sudden say, I'm not in the manosphere, I'm just me, or, you know, like, you know, people do that. So it's like, no, they certifications have to be renewed every once in a while. Or if they rack up too many tickets. Shit, I got a seatbelt ticket today. I'm mad as fuck. By a black state trooper. I'm like, nigga, for real. Anyway.
Yeah, that's all right. We about to roll some. I'm about to roll some more.
Let's see what else bullshit she got.
It was something else I wanted to say. Damn, it just slipped my mind. But all right, it'll come back.
Submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
Just in case y'all missed that question.
Submissive woman kind of broke it down into like to-dos specifically. Like, what does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
Pause.
What does that mean?
You know, like
that's a lie. That I mean, especially in the black community, I would get Nick. Like I said, I brought up Shay Sade. She ain't doing everything. Ain't nobody doing everything. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like this is where I quote shit. Even Latin women aren't doing everything.
Those are the telltale signs of somebody trying to present too perfect. Just
even
too perfect,
even chicks overseas ain't doing everything. Let's see what else she got to say. Maybe I prejudge at the mother.
I mean, no, she says a lot of good things. It's just we got to compare and contrast with what she previously said. And the Shan Booty shit, she had said at the beginning of the interview. She was talking to her and she was like, you know, I've been knowing you for a while and watching you for a while, or knowing who she is for a while, because I guess she's a public figure of some sort. And he said, you reinvent yourself all the time. So I'm like, this is not the interview to be leading into it, talking about how she reinventing herself. Okay, she's reinventing herself into a submissive pick-me type of chick. That brings me right to the point that I forgot about. Mm-hmm. A market has been created for this shit.
Yeah, so, and that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not because I said that Here's my it is, but it's not. Okay, the it's not. I'm glad women are at least saying some shit that I do think women need to hear. It's not a bad thing. The bad thing comes in is that the majority of them that do it, some of it is not their fault, some of it is, but some of it is not their fault. But the majority of them, and they got a majority male audience. So it's like you're in some way you're not targeting the market that needs to hear it. So it's like
No,
yes,
it's clout chasing. And so there's people. Okay, there's advocacy.
Well, no, how's it clout chasing? That they're building a business off of it. So
Yeah. So here's the thing: there's advocacy. I'm an advocate because if I wanted to rewire my shit, like to expand it, I could. And to a certain extent, I mean, I know you do this from a business, but I put you more in that advocate category too. It's just I'm gonna get money while I'm here kind of thing too. I'm or I can even put it into more of a presentation because the presentation does matter. I just don't give a shit, and I need to get better about that. But and I'm not trying to say you can't be in it for business. I'm not saying that. I'm not. Like dudes, I may give a little bit more rope with that, but like with the females, and I do understand what you said. Like at Danica Marie she said herself, she had 90% male audience. I'm not gonna completely say, okay, she's on that bullshit.
Then I don't either. I just want to make it clear. I don't say that they on bullshit because they have 90% audience. Some of it they can't help. They can't help if man want to show up and see an attractive woman.
And this is where it's important because I just did a stream like this a couple of hours ago, and I completely went off on the dudes because just like when Kevin Samuels did that stream about should black men expand their options, and then dudes just acted like they were like puppies to where you kicking them out and they looking at you like you really gonna kick me out, like they getting the big eyes and shit. You have a lot of dudes that I'm gonna say it, they're cucks. And they just don't want it to be out there on Front Street. They want you to be able to, they want to be able to save face. So if women know how to put a facade up so they don't look like they're just obviously getting bent over, obviously, then they will be fine in that situation. This is why so many niggas in fucking marriages that are submissive, and they're submissive in their marriage. And they'll sit there try to tell you it's the greatest thing when in reality, that's literally what's going on. And we know this because we've had people that grew up in those households that's talked about that. So my point is, and also with the economy being effed up, women have more of an incentive. Like I said, Kevin proved there's money in saying shit that people want to hear. And the reality is all you really got to do is show up. You don't have to create courses or anything. All you really got to do is show up and say some kind words, and dudes will gather around the campfire. I said it. I said we need to do what's that shit when they say 30 cents a day you can feed a starving child? We got a lot of niggas that's starving with femininity. And for 30 cents, for $5, a woman can leave a voicemail telling a black man you matter and that, it's going to be okay. And I love you and I need you, like some Taraji P. fucking Henson. And you niggas will donate to that bullshit. And you niggas are some hoe ass niggas. Like y'all might as well be on a fucking OnlyFans account. It's OnlyFans Light. That's in the arms of an angel type ass nigga. For real. And I'm not saying that y'all can't support certain people that's doing the work, but y'all gotta be able to tell the difference. Because I was jumping off about Courtney Michelle and fucking Obi doing that channel with Zoom to Thailand. And it was just basically motherfuckers kissing a ring. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? And it's like, so it's really the audience.
I missed that. Wait a minute. What I saw that coming. And I thought that it probably could end up being a good show where a good conversation could be had. But I have no idea why the dude, I keep forgetting the brother's name. I have no idea why he did that show.
Like
he recently drew a very hard line in the sand that his channel, anybody who's, he said either divested or have saved itself, this ain't for you. He about repairing was broken.
Yeah, he said he about reconciliation.
And so that's what he about. So I have no idea why he would have to Zoom the Thailand dude on there after that. So what happened? What was the highlights of what happened there?
I mean, so to be fair to Zoom to Thailand is what I call a tradition. Zoom to Thailand ain't necessarily SYSBM.
No,
he is a traditional, a traditional like melanated travel channel. I come from the black travel community, and he fits in with them, that they don't really bring the gender part into it like that. It's really, they don't talk about that because it's no point. It should be obvious, but that's not really his angle. He got put into that angle because he was in the Manosphere and people worry about passports. And Courtney has had questions about quote unquote SYSBM/passport, and so I guess he has a lot of subscribers. She generates a lot of traffic, for Obi's channel. So that's why, and it would be put together a great interview. So that's why they did it. As far as him drawing the hard line, I mean, at the end of the day, he can believe in whatever Candyland dreams that he wants to. I don't have a problem. I've been on his show, and so he's cool. But at the end of the day, he'll impress me if he actually gets Mad Bus Driver on there and somebody actually can articulate SYSBM. Because see, in his mind, SYSBM is divestment. The inverse, and no, it's not. And anybody that says that, you're either too lazy to actually understand what it is, or you're a liar. And I think a lot of dudes know what it is, but they play against narratives. And there's people I fuck with that do that too, by the way. And it's like they think they're in the moral right, so the ends justify the means. For those of you all that don't know, the difference between divestment, I'm not gonna go on a long soliloquy. The difference.
No, I want to hear this broken down. Go ahead.
The difference is very simple. I know people think I know how to talk in like monologues, but let me break it down in one sentence, maybe two. The difference between SYSBM and divestment is this. Divestment is exclusively not dating black men, meaning date anybody but black men. That's what divestment is. SYSBM is not exclusively dating black women. So in the black community, you are expected to only date black women. Otherwise, you hate black people. That is how the community is. People may be more rah-rah about that than others, but that's what is defined. And if you really jump on dudes will say you expected to date only ADOS sisters. Because when I push dudes on dating non-ADOS women, which is ironic because Obi is not ADOS, so people would throw him out just off the strength of ADOS, not ADOS, Serena She, Jason Black, whatever. But anyway, my point is, when you push them on that, they will tell you that, no, it needs to be an ADOS sister. So divestment is defined by not dealing with black men. This is why Kerrison had to jump in and say that's not what it's about, because she even criticized that, saying divestment is not supposed to be you all a whole bunch of angry women hating men. It's supposed to be how to get a non-black man. But see, she can't do her work because that's what they're really on. And this, by the way, this is Mad Bus Driver approved. Mad Bus Driver has said you can still be SYSBM and date a black woman. However, if that black woman has even 0.00001% of as Glenn and Cameron would say, the unwashed bullshit or the Keisha in her, then you can't slide that in. They have to be completely devoid of that. And usually that's going to come up in more non-ADOS black women than ADOS black women. So it's not common, but it's not unallowed. That's the difference. And so people like to frame SYSBM that you don't deal with black women. If they're black, you don't deal with them, period. That's not true. If you act like a female that has a two-parent household that's not on the gynocracy BS, that doesn't exclude you from dating her just because she's black. That's how the women. Now, if you notice, like I said, black women define divestment. This is because look at who they attack. They attack women that actually show any kind of inclination to want to deal with a black man. They do the things that SYSBM says that women should do. By the way, too, SYSBM about choosing the best candidate. SYSBM is not it's more about not being subject to, you got to be pro-black because you're black or loyal to the community. That's what it's about. It's about black male agency. That's not what divestment's about. That's not. It's about black male agency. And I mean, does that make sense or?
No, I understand exactly what you're saying. I think what Dane C is pointing out is something that a lot of people who wear the title SYSBM end up coming off like, and he's saying there are some SYSBMers with divestment mindsets, and that does exist. But if you're saying
that exists in everything, exists. I mean, are you like that? That's to me, that's not even a valid argument.
Right.
Because if you're looking for that, then you're gonna see that. The reality is, you know, like even though Tariq, I could give you plenty of examples, but the reality is, man, you're people just saying that so they can find one person out of 100. But the reality, what they're trying to get away from is this idea. They're trying to promote black male agency, and you see it as divesting. Because we perceive being a good black man is in relation to how he services black women. And that is what they fundamentally reject. And the reality is a lot of y'all, to varying degrees, still see it that way too. And that's why y'all perceive it as that. I'm not even full blown SYSBM, but I do but I understand that, and people will tell you, the people I know, that it is not based on that. And by the way, think about it. Black women have more passports than black men. Black women travel for dick more than black women travel for pussy. We never talk about that. You got them talking about somehow you're SYSBM if you travel overseas, even if you're going and dealing with melanated women. Somehow you're still SYSBM. Like, what it really goes to show, it's sexual politicking. It's black men. And here's the thing why I'm saying this like this. You all have to be very careful when you all are being useful idiots. When you all are working for the black female and you all don't even know it. You all are like when agents take over a human body, and the human body humans, if they do leave without getting killed, they don't know what happened. They're shut down. That's what a lot of y'all are doing. This is why we gotta do prostitution was just legalized in California. Like, so I mean, this idea that all you doing is tricking because you can't get pussy here, you can't do this. Like, I'm not saying that's dang, but I'm saying you got dudes that they will talk about black women a lot harsher than I will, yet somehow have something to say about black men traveling.
That's interesting. Prostitution legal, just got made legal in California. That's something we may have to revisit that one.
But fit that in there.
Yeah, but overall, in general, what happened in the
I'm not scrambling and rambling. The red alert saying I'm scrambling and rambling. You just need to catch up with the speed that I'm on.
Yeah, but no, it's all good, man. I ain't tripping. Listen, where am I at?
Takes a certain IQ to keep up with me. It's okay.
Here, what happened in that interview? I am interested. I may watch it if I get a chance. But what happened in that discussion?
I mean,
overall, you said a lot of dudes was like just basically just kissing the ring of the American black. Or just tell me what happened. I don't even want to colorize it. What happened?
So here's the thing. What I was looking for to happen was really, Courtney to give her list of questions she kind of did on Pablo, and for Zoom to answer that. That happened a little bit, but it really just became about buttering her up her ego, presenting this idea of, well, black people are really not divided. What Obi pretty once presented. There's good black women out there. They're just not shown. Well, Obi, why don't you interview them? You got a platform.
Uh-oh.
All the ones you showing is a SYSBM infomercial. That's why I tell dudes, don't get mad at him, because the thing is, he's doing the Lord's work. He's SYSBM premium. If you need to remind yourself why you are the way you are, go watch his channel. Don't even comment.
I've said this before, and I've had some people who SYSBM. They've tried to lump me in the category of like I'm somebody who's saying black women are nothing else, even though I've never said that. When I was out there, when I was really out there, I went to a mixed race club, and whatever fish was biting, that's the one that got in that I messed with. I didn't care what color it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was on. But
very few black men exclusively don't date black women. Very few black
exactly. But so I would do my content, and I would be going in on really modern women in general, but specifically black women. Specifically black women. It's a black channel ran by a black man where I talk to majority of black men, and we talking about black women. And then he said, and then they come in here, well, why not just walk away? Why even talk about it all day? Okay, now you go to a damn SYSBM channel, they talking about the same shit. So it's almost like it's really no reason to even have something to say. You basically, people get mad at certain content creators because he don't wear your particular flag. But I've said this once, I've said it again. When you got your head on straight as a man, as a black man, you've automatically limited not the amount or type of women that you're going to deal with, and the type of women that you're going to deal with. A smaller percentage of black women fall within that category, and in general, a smaller percentage of women fall in that category. So, in our own way, we've all de facto gone SYSBM because it's a small percent. Hold on, real quick. It's a small percentage of black women that fall within that what I'm going to actually be dealing with seriously. So that's why I say, in my own way, if we've all gone MGTOW, because if you say that it's only a very specific, particular type of woman that I will even consider a real, actual relationship with, then what are you doing? You're just keeping it casual with the women that you are encountering, which means you've gone MGTOW, which means you've probably gone some de facto SYSBM. So that's why I say we all on the same team, so it don't need to be no unnecessary infighting about this shit. So that's why I get mad when people come at him, because he's not saying only deal with black women and accept bullshit and accept a bad deal.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, you're right.
If he was saying accept a bad deal in the name of only dealing with black women, I would have a problem with him. But he is basically he's trying to, whether it's a fool's errand or not, he's trying to fix the product so people can accept it. You can't have a problem with that.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And you, again, in any group, there is no group where everybody's like on point like that, unless you talk about Navy SEALs or something like that. Like a very elite is where you're held to a standard, especially when you're dealing with, even when you look at like conservative movements, like, you know, all like, what do they call it? God, you know what I'm talking about, like the shit, not Trump, but you know the stuff before Trump, like the anti, the Tea Party. That stuff is broken down into a lot of different stuff and factions, and some of it is because they got actual differences, like the Tea Party and libertarians. Although it mixes, everybody is libertarians, not in the Tea Party. It's a lot. It's same thing with the Democrats. It's a lot of stuff. Like I could go into that aspect because people think Biden is a liberal. No, he's not. He may do liberal shit, but that ain't really, he's a Dixie. But my point is, in every group. So when people try to look at the small piece and they try to big it up, because I've had to check SYSBM folks when they want to be on this fantasy, like they're going to get, if the ones that try to say, well, we're going to get with like non-black women and somehow create a black race out of that. I'm like, no, you're not. Now, that's not what's going to happen. Now, if you want to do that, cool, but understand that that's not in 100 years how that will turn out. That's not. So I don't know why, if you're deluding yourself, but most of them are on that. Shout out to Xanatos. You know, so the point is, it's lazy. This is my biggest thing. It's lazy to try to compare SYSBM to divest, because the reality is the shit that divestors are able to get away with on this platform is shit that the SYSBMers have not even attempted. Let's be very clear. Even the most like radical of them have not even attempted shit that women are openly able to say. You know, when you talk about post-birth abortion, you know, and you're promoting that, or you talk about abort black male babies, you have north of 100,000. So when people make those comparisons, it's really, it's you trying to say they're just as bad. So because they're just as bad, let's not be like those people and let's have this other conversation. In my opinion, it's the same thing that Jason Black and Tariq does when they try to make everything about non-ADOS. So you can create this fantasy of we're more together than we actually are, because that gets in the way of solving the real problems that is actually people having, which in my opinion is people are trying to con people. And this chick is a perfect example of where, look, both of them are conning. It's sexual politicking, which is cool, but don't say it's not that.
Let me say this before we get off here. We actually made it to the 2-hour mark. Now I'm shutting it down for real. But I had to time weather out.
What did
he literally just sit there and said, Ed trying to save Keisha and Isha, Misha, or some shit. Like what the, like I have a serious problem when somebody blatantly say some shit that ain't true. They know it ain't true. They just come in here and try to pin a narrative on somebody just to try to put you in a category. Like I can't stand that.
Yeah,
shit. Like,
I mean, I've always been very clear. I still date black women. I've always said that your greatest power is your power of choice. So I don't think that black men should grade black women on a curve. And you live in you're 6% of the population. and you, because think about it, there's a difference between having a child with somebody and sexual access. Everybody understands that. Like, other dudes of other races don't get jumped on about dealing with black women until they bring one home. You know, that's when that happens. It's already said that boys are going to play. The question is, are you going to get a good Jewish girl, a good Latin girl, a good black, you know what I'm saying? That's when they really start trying to hold you to a standard. But they understand that you might have to get it out of your system. As far as dudes. And so my thing is, only black men define themselves as, like, dudes really believe, man, I only date black women. Okay, you ain't more pro-black. If I date 100 white chicks and I get married and have kids with a black chick, I'm not saying that's what you should do. But that's no different than you fucking 100 black women. Straight up. That's no different, because the end result was the same. A child that is black. But see, this is why when dudes like Phil and other dudes that had kids with black women, because if it's really about genetic debt, they technically paid it. But see, it's not seen as that, because again, no, like Tariq, his first kid is black with a black woman. Michael Jordan, we already know what that is, and he paid the chick out.
Robert Smith, he had his black
50
kid.
Cent. And all of them, yeah.
You saying they served their sentence? They served their
well,
time.
It ain't even. Well, I ain't gonna say that, but I'm like, well, yeah, you can say that. But what I'm saying is, if you really coming at it from a pro-black, I want to continue the race. They did more than a dude that ain't got no kids. So the reality is, for you to sit there and judge, it's one thing for you to judge somebody that just only dates out, but for you to judge them when they already got actual black kids that their genetic legacy, or not genetic, but economics, can be passed on to, that are actually older, which means they're more likely to be able to get more of it. That's how I know it's about you. The last thing, when you say, okay, fine, what about dating 980s? When I push dudes on that, they still say, no, you should deal with 80 chick. Now I know it's not about being pro-black. Now I know it's not about the genetics. Now I know it's about serving her. That's the problem I have.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. When dudes go to rejecting non-80s black women, saying that no, the black men shouldn't date those, that's when you know it's really.
And they can never explain it. That's the beautiful. I'd be like, explain that. Explain that. And they can't.
It's something is baked into the cake real bad right there. But we gotta wrap this up. The sun going down. I was operating off sunlight. Now I'm sitting here in the dark. This might not be a bad look. I get some candles or some shit and do a show for women. No, I'm just bullshit.
You got the right polo for it, because it's like, if it's gonna be dark, you need something bright.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to get on that type of game, man, for real.
Right on. Shout out to Rod of God in the building. But no, thanks for coming up, Ed. I appreciate you coming up, man. You definitely dropped some bombs. Do appreciate it. But all right, y'all, we up out of here. Peace. We got to go get into some 4th of July weekend shenanigans. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate everybody supporting the stream. We out of here. Peace. We gone. Manosphere show of the week. I forgot what it's called. Ellie asked me to do it. So
it's the Manosphere show of the week, episode 7.
Right on. So yeah, be on the lookout for those every Sunday at 6. So yeah, be on the lookout for those. Something they're growing. This will grow into something big. So I like the concept. I'm on board. But all right.